Of the Great War of the Ring, many songs have been sung and many tales told. The names of heroes like Gandalf the Grey, Aragorn the King, and Frodo the Ring-Bearer are greatly revered, and rightly so. Yet Sauron's grasp stretched much further than the lands of Gondor and Rohan alone, and his forces might have done great evil in the north of Middle-earth, had a handful of heroes not stood in his path. Their stories, too, deserve to be told. Pay heed now to one such tale, which begins here in the town of Bree, just a few short days before Frodo arrived on his quest.
Aragorn.
Eredon. Well met. And in company with Andriel of Rivendell and Farin of Erebor. An unlikely trio to find walking through the doors of the Prancing Pony. You were at Sarn Ford last I knew. Do you bear news from Halbarad?
Yes. Grim news.
I feared it would be so. Quickly, tell me what has happened, but keep your voices low. There are unfriendly ears, even here in Bree.
3 days passed. The guard at Sarn Ford was attacked by 9 Black Riders.
Stand fast, Rangers!
We were overwhelmed, and the enemy passed into the Shire.
This is worse than I imagined. I know these riders. It is from Mordor they come. Our folk had not hoped to stand against the 9 together. How bad were our losses?
Very bad. We tried to resist them, but they were surrounded by an aura of unnatural dread.
There is more you should know. After the rout, one of the Black Riders met with an ally, a man of great malice and power.
As our master commanded, I have stirred up the orcs of the mountains. Even now I have a force gathering amid the ruins of old Fornost.
Return at once and prepare your forces. We will have need of them soon.
My orcs will be ready. These lands have known peace for too long. They will soon feel the Dark Lord's wrath.
If this Agandaur has a force at Fornost, then our position grows all the more desperate.
But why all this force against the peaceful halflings? It can't be the enemy sees them as a threat.
I will say this much. There is a hobbit of the Shire who should be coming this way with a great burden. If it falls into the hands of the enemy, it will mean doom for us all. Now this hobbit is adrift on the road with enemies all around. I must find him before they do. And I need you to help me keep him safe.
You are my chieftain. I will gladly do whatever you command.
I'm a part of this now as well.
Then we 3 are of one mind. How can we aid you?
We must reduce the threat from the enemies gathered at Fornost. Travel there and do whatever you can to keep the enemy's eye turned towards you and away from the Shire.
Perhaps we will have help in this task. Eladan and Elrohir were in the north when last I heard. Any gathering of the enemy is certain to attract their attention.
Good. You could find no better allies than the sons of Elrond half-elven.
I hope we meet. But with or without help, the enemy will be kept busy. We'll make sure of that.
I have a few questions, if I may, Aragorn.
Shh. Here in Bree, there is no Aragorn. Only Strider the Ranger.
What of this man, Agandaur, who met with the Black Riders? What do you make of him?
Some servant of the Dark Lord, and by his name one to be feared. His presence in the north bodes ill for us all, but I'm glad you discovered it. At least now we are forewarned.
Those creatures that attacked us at San Ford, those Black Riders, I have never seen anything like them before. What are they?
Do you not know them? There are whispered tales and legends enough that tell of them. They are the Nine, the Ring Wraiths. Of all the servants of the enemy, they are the most feared.
This Agandar, he was no wraith. He seemed like a man, one filled with malice and dark power, but a man nonetheless. But what kind of man would serve the Dark Lord?
Not all the Dark Lord's servants are wraiths and orcs. There have been and still are many men, warriors and kings that walk alive under the sun, and yet are under his sway, willing.
What can you tell me of Fornost?
Fornost was once a great city, the capital of the Dunedain kingdom of Arnor. It fell to the Witch King long ago. The men of Gondor and the elves formed an alliance that drove the Witch King out, but Fornost was never rebuilt. The ruins remain a place of dread for many. The men of Bree call it Dead Man's Dyke and fear to go near. It is a perfect place for our enemies to gather in secret.
So Agandar chose well, it seems. We will travel to Fornost and see what we can do to upset his plans. These people seem to have no notion of the dangers that threaten them.
Welcome to Bree. You're a stranger around here. May I ask you a few questions?
Questions? Concerning what?
We hear a lot of talk from travelers these days. Most of them speak of war and of a growing shadow in the east. The townsfolk just dismiss this. Say it's far away and doesn't concern us. But I'm not so sure. You've traveled, maybe seen a few things. What's your opinion? Should we be worried?
There is much to worry about, and the danger is not far off.
I was afraid of that. If only I could convince others. But until then, I will have to...
What do you intend to do?
I'd like to arrange for arming the town. We'll need more than pitchforks if we're forced to defend ourselves. I tried to convince a dwarven merchant to...
It seems a reasonable...
He seems convinced there's no market for weapons in this town.
Perhaps I should talk to this dwarf.
It's worth a try. His name is Groff. He's selling his wares from a market stall down...
I shall speak with him and return with...
What have we here? A stranger in town. A stranger's just what I'm looking for. Interested in a little harmless pastime? it's time to make some money.
What sort of pastime did you have in mind?
Why, nothing more than a simple game of riddles is all. I love a good game of riddles. But everyone in town has already heard all I know. I reckon I could stump you, though.
My folk enjoy riddles as well, but I have never heard of money changing hands over them.
It's simple. You stake some money and I ask you a riddle. If you give the right answer quick enough, I'll double your money. If you're wrong, the coins go to me. What is...
I am intrigued. Ask me your riddle.
First, you have to put up your money. How much do you care to wager? Remember, it's down to double it if your wits are quick enough. Done. Now remember, you'll have to answer quick. I won't give you long with real money at stake. Are you ready?
Yes, let me hear your riddle.
What is it that's so fragile, even saying its name can break it? Oh, right you are. You're a smart one. Give me a chance to win it back, eh? What do you say to double or nothing on another try?
Very well, you shall have your chance. Let me hear your riddle.
The more you have of it, the less you see. What is it? Oh, correct. You've a cunning mind, no mistake. Go again, double or nothing?
As you wish. Riddle away.
The more of these you take, the more you leave behind. What are they? That's the answer. I've been too easy on you, it seems. Go double or nothing and I'll stomp you this time for sure.
As you wish. Riddle away.
What belongs to you that others use more than you do? No, that's not the answer. Looks like I'm the richer. Nobody beats a Bree Hobbit for spinning out a real tough riddle.
Fairly played. Will you give me another chance?
All right, if you think your purse can stand it. How much do you want to wager this time? Done. Now remember, you'll have to answer quick. I won't give you...
Yes, let me hear your riddle.
My life can be measured in hours. I serve by being devoured. Thin I am quick, fat I am slow, wind is my foe. What am I? Oh, right you are. You're a smart one. Give me a chance to win it back, eh? What do you say to double or nothing on another...
Very well, you shall have your chance. Let me hear your riddle.
I drive men mad for want of me. I'm easily beaten, but never free. What am I? Oh, correct. You've a cunning mind, no mistake.
As you wish. Riddle away.
At night, they come without being called. By day, they're lost without being stolen. What are they? That's the answer. I've been too easy on you, it seems. Go double or nothing and I'll stomp you this time for...
As you wish. Riddle away.
I'm always hungry. I'll need to be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I? Oh, right by thunder. I can't get anything by you. Give me one last chance. Double or nothing once.
As you wish. Riddle away.
Each morning I appear to lie at your feet. All day I will follow no matter how fast you run. Yet I nearly perish in the midday sun. What am I? I see I'm dealing with a riddle master. More the fool I for putting up my hard-earned coins. Well, fair is fair. Here's your winnings.
A pleasant diversion. Thank you, and farewell.
Oh, my. Bless me if it isn't an elf maid right here in my inn. And pretty as a flower and all. It's been ages and ages since we had anyone like you in the Prancing Pony. It's an honor.
Tell me about your town.
Oh, Bree is an old place. Been here for ages and ages. This is the only place in the world you'll find hobbits and men living side by side.
Tell me about your
The Prancing Pony's been in my family for generations. I can't rightly say how long, it goes that far back. I'm told there's been an inn on this spot nearly as long.
What news do travelers bring?
Lately, the talk's mostly about trouble away to the south. Seems like there may be war or some other calamity brewing down there.
Are they settling here in the Breelands?
Well, no. It's not that we aren't sympathetic to their troubles. It's just that Bree belongs to Bree folk. We can't take in a lot of outsiders.
I may have need of a few things before I leave Bree.
Well, we have stores and shops here in town, but I suspect most of them wouldn't suit your needs. You might try Adelgar Oldbank's shop. If it's repairs you need, try Elman Brushwood, our blacksmith. His smithy is just across the street, there on the corner.
What news do travelers...
Lately, the talk's mostly about trouble away to the south.
I must be on my way.
Oh, you're an elf, aren't you? Sorry, you think I'd notice an elf walking into the Prancing Pony? I guess I've had my...
You must pardon my saying so.
Oh no, it's no trouble.
Surely that is a good thing. Tell me.
It's Idona Bellflower, my childhood sweetheart. I always thought we were meant for each other, but her father doesn't like my prospects. He's arranging a match with the blacksmith, Elman.
A father's wishes are not to be set aside lightly. But what have I done?
That's just it. I'm not sure. I always told her how much I loved her when we were children. It was all a game back then. Then we got older and it got so much harder to say.
If you love her, tell her so.
I want to tell her. I do. Look, this locket belonged to my mother. I want to give it to Idona as a token of my love. The chain is broken, and Elman the blacksmith is the only one in town who can fix it. If I take it to him...
A simple matter. Let me take...
Yes, that might work. Elman would never suspect a stranger like you. There's one more thing. Idona's father keeps a careful eye on his daughter and won't...
I will take her the locket.
Wonderful! Just perfect. Take the locket to Elman at the smithy across the street. Once it's repaired, bring it to Idona and tell her... Tell her...
Very well.
And just one more thing. After you talk to her, could you come back and tell me what she said? One way or another, I have to know.
Certainly. I will bring you her...
So, what brings an elf to my shop? Surely you don't need old Elman to set your equipment to rights. I thought you elves could conjure up magical swords. Back again.
I would like to have this locket repaired.
Let's see it. Looks like something might have been made in these parts. Maybe back in me old dad's day. Wouldn't expect one of your kind to have something like this.
You are correct. It is Bree-work. I am having it
I see. Well, it couldn't be simpler. I'll just add another link. And it won't cost you but a single silver penny. There you are. Good as new.
I thank you. Farewell.
Back again.
I shall leave you to your work. I wonder if the towns of men are always so dismal.
Well, bless me. If it isn't an elf walking right into my shop like something from an old tale. Welcome, welcome. What can I do for you? I hope you have a trinket or two you would be willing to sell.
Do you deal often with my kind?
Not often, sadly. But there are still elves that wander from time to time through the Chetwood nearby. Sometimes I've been fortunate enough to meet with them.
I see. Have you met?
Why, no, now that you mention it. I guess it's been a few years since last I met an elf. Though sometimes I've had a strong feeling that they were...
I am not surprised that meetings with my kin have become rare.
Folks say that the elves are leaving our shores, heading west and sailing away for other lands. Some around here might be happy to know that was true. But for my part, I hope...
It is true. Many of my kindred have departed, and many more will soon follow. Yet there are those of us who still love these lands of Middle-earth.
Good, good. I hope to see more elves visiting and trading with us. Speaking of which, what... Welcome!
Why, you are one of the little people.
Hobbits, if you please. That's what we call ourselves. Perhaps you're surprised to see my kind living outside the Shire. But there were hobbits living in Bree long before there ever was a Shire. And...
Your wares seem unusual.
That's what my neighbors are always telling me. I'm sure half the town thinks I'm completely cracked. But I've always loved old tales of adventure and daring deeds. So it's...
And this is profitable?
Oh, heavens no. But you see, my old dad was quite well off, and he left me a tidy sum. This is really more of a hobby than a business. but it could prove useful to some.
What news do travelers bring of late?
Lately, their talk has been pretty dark. All about wars brewing and even about Mordor and all.
Are you frightened?
Me? Heavens no. What is there in Bree that the Dark Lord would be interested in? We mind our own business and no one bothers us. That's the way.
You should be frightened. The darkness is
No. Now you're just trying to scare me, aren't you? Why, I doubt this Dark Lord even exists, outside of tales told to keep misbehaving.
I must be on my...
You're a strong man, Bramble. You do well.
Sounds good, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to hurt.
You think they care about you? I say take what you want. Well, what do you want, Elf? This is a private conversation.
Tell me, what were you just...
I don't see how that's any of you.
I was just curious. It sounds...
You mind your own business, eh? Those who go sticking their nose in where it doesn't belong are likely to get it cut off.
Do you mean to threaten...
Oh, he isn't a Breelander. He comes from down south.
Gone. Fools who can't keep their mouths shut are no use to us, Bramble.
He names you fool, yet...
I don't like being called names. I've had enough of being...
Small wonder it is, Sue. Stay here with the rest of them.
I mistrust that one.
Well, I'm not really sure. He said there'd be changes round here soon, and those smart enough to join up with his friends would end up...
He means no good to Bree, or to you.
Aye, you're right. Folks here may not treat me the way I like all the time, but it's still...
That is the wise path.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Honest, I'm not.
Well now, if you don't mind my saying so, you don't look much like a Breelander. Is there something I can do for you?
I have a favor to ask of you.
A favor?
These people have need of arms. Will you bring a supply?
You're pulling my beard. Weapons for these folk? They wouldn't know which end of the sword to hang on to.
The days of peace and comfort may soon be past for Bree. They must be prepared.
I'll not deny times are growing dark. There's trouble all around. But you'll never get these folks to believe it. But...
Not everyone is blind to the growing threat. It was one of the townsmen who sent me to ask this of you.
It'll take more than a few sensible folk to make it worth my time. These people are simple and peace-loving. It's plowshares they want, not swords.
They will learn quickly should trouble come their way. Surely you do not wish to leave them
You're right, of course. Maybe it's not such a bad idea after all.
Excellent. How long will it be before the...
Some time, I'm afraid. It's a long trek to the Blue Mountains and back. Not to mention I'll have to convince my kin I've not lost my mind.
Tell me of the Blue Mountains and...
The Blue Mountains are prosperous enough, although we find more iron than gold. We rely on iron working.
I will let them know when to expect you.
As soon as I've sold a few more tools, I'll be on my way.
You have made the right choice. The Bree folk will thank you.
Hello, is there something I can do for you?
Rowley Appledore wishes me to present...
A gift? From Rowley? But I thought that is he...
This locket, which once belonged to his...
Oh, it's beautiful.
He also wished me to tell you how...
Rowley loves me? Still? We were so close when we...
No, he remembers.
But this is wonderful news. Wonderful. Rowley's always...
He is awaiting your answer.
Oh, please tell him I love him, and that we...
Unpleasant message to bear.
I can't thank you enough for bringing me Rowley's message. This changes everything.
It was a pleasure.
You're back. Did you speak to Idona?
Rejoice.
Wonderful, wonderful. I can't thank you enough, my friend. But wait, hang on. Oh, I completely forgot. Edmund must...
Thank you, and good luck.
I have a lot of work ahead of me if I'm going to convince Idona's father I'll make a good match for his daughter.
May the stars shine upon you.
Did you speak with Groff? What did he say?
I was able to convince him.
Excellent. My only concern now is the time it will take. What if we need to defend the town of...
How so?
I can tell by your gear that you are no stranger to a fight. If you should have occasion to, well, let's say, recover...
Indeed. What sort of payment?
I'm not a wealthy man, but I will give you what I can for any good weapons you bring me.
I will bear that in mind. Farewell.
Hello. Have you brought me any extra weapons?
Your price is but a fraction of what I could get elsewhere.
I know, but it's all I can afford. I wouldn't blame you if you took your business elsewhere, but I hope you won't. We are in need.
You must pardon me. I have pressing matters to attend to. This is Fornost, yet I see no sign of the enemy.
These ruins could hide a large army. We might even now be under the gaze of unfriendly eyes.
Well, we came to provide a distraction for Aragorn, and what better way to do that than walking in the front door? Let's be about it.
Servants of darkness!
Fall before me, fiends! This will prove useful.
around here? Thanks, my friend. I'm in your debt.
bloom is beautiful and useful as well. This will prove useful. I have a good use for this. Here is something I can make use of. This has the power to heal. Just what I needed.
Is everyone unhurt? These ruins are not sound.
We must find a way out of these pits. Anon Edron I will take this. These goblins are small, but deadly all the same.
To battle!
Of the Eldar! This is the power to heal.
Dwarf. There are still foes to defeat.
Not too close for comfort. You have my thanks.
shield. bloom is beautiful, And useful as well.
What creature could be making those cries? Just like a dwarf to spend so much time on the ground.
Much appreciated, friend.
I thank you, friends. Without your timely arrival, my death would have been slow, but certain.
Why, you are...
Why, of course I am. The great eagles of the north speak it. I am called Balaram. My home is in the Misty Mountains, and I serve Gwaihir, Lord of Eagles.
I am Andriel, and I belong to the household of Elrond Half-Elven, the Lord of Imladris. My companions...
Then I am indebted to you, Andriel of Imladris. And...
What brought you here to Fort?
I often range far across the lands of the north, gathering news for Gwaihir, my lord. When I saw activity here in long abandon...
What did you see?
Goblins and other foul folk are working within the ruins. They appear to be preparing for war, building siege engines and stockpiling arms.
Were you able to determine?
I saw a tall man, heavily armored. The goblins obeyed his commands. Who he is, I cannot say, but he had an aura of menace.
That can only be...
You know this man?
He is a servant of the Dark Lord. We must...
I will assist you, but it will be perilous. The enemy has positioned war machines upon the inner...
If we could reach the top of the wall, we might be...
Beyond those doors, you will find a passage and stay.
Those machines are certain to be well guarded. We could be walking into a...
I will take to the air and draw their fire. If we are fortunate, that will allow you...
Very well. Let us begin.
Welcome. I think more folks are starting to believe the dangers I warned of are real. But it's no wonder, really. What with the Black Riders...
Black Riders entered Bree?
Yes, but Barliman can probably tell you more than I.
Welcome.